Hi, I'm Sunni, and this is my podcast, Creator, Created, Creating. Short and sweet mindset shifts for intentional life creation. If you're worried about being replaced by a robot. So I want to talk today about AI and about any fears that might be coming up in you or people you know about AI and about that threatening your work, your livelihood, your job, your being okay in the world, your being provided for, your support. Because I know how frightening that can be. But I want to come here and remind you that no one stream of support that ever comes to you from the moment you're born to the moment you pass away from this world is your source. No one person, one job, one source, one institution, one system, one government, one company, one person, place, or thing. You can and will always be supported and find your sources of not just survival, but thrival, if that's a word. You will thrive. But it requires you to, so when these things happen, it requires you to shift. It requires a change. It requires a mindset change. These things that are happening in humanity right now are coming as part of a larger evolution. And those things are going to make a lot of things a lot easier. And that may feel threatening to you and your value, but your value has nothing to do with what you do, but who you are. And who you are proliferates and expresses through what you do. And you will always be creating something. You will always be doing something with who you are, the energy of who you are. That will never stop. So think about the past and things that have fallen away, things that have changed. And you have changed with things, right? You thought things were over, but they just morphed. They changed. Certain things became easier. Certain things got taken off your plate. Certain things you didn't have to do anymore, which freed you up to do something else. Something that in all likelihood was actually calling you even more. Something that could become, that ease can then become your tool to express yourself in a totally different way. You will still find your value. You will still find your support. You will always have all the support you need. Your value is not in the thing. So, but when these things happen in our human evolution, when these things happen to us, that's what it's inviting us to do, is say, oh, look at this. Oh, wow. I've put all of my value and my belief that of survival and thriving into this object, this expression, this thing in this particular way. Now, you might still do the thing, but in a new way, using the tool that made it easier for you. Or not. I don't know. It's going to be different and unique for each being. But these tools are going to make certain things easier so that our energy can be put into other things that are going to create new things and new things and new things forever, forever forward into the future, infinitely on forever. So I have experience with this because I've been in the design business for 25 years. And I was doing web design and stuff before all like Squarespace and all these like boxed websites came out. And when that happened, I was like, I'm done. I'm over. My livelihood's toast. I'm toast. At that time, I believed that's where my value was. And all these DIY websites came out. Suddenly, people could just get their own website for like a few bucks and like tweak it themselves and design it themselves and put it together themselves with these beautiful templates. And I thought, I'm done. My livelihood's over. What the hell am I going to do? I was the main breadwinner at that time in our household. I made more than my husband at that time. And so that was really threatening. So I struggled with that. I wrestled with that. And what that did was change my whole life. It changed my whole life for the better. Because then, first of all, people discovered those DIY super cheap websites that are already done for you aren't so done for you. You still needed somebody with an eye to do the whole thing. Otherwise, it just still ended up looking like crap. You still needed somebody who had an eye to put in your own once you put in your own content and your own photos, that beautiful template that they had didn't look like a beautiful template at all. So you still needed a designer. But even so, even when now later on they made it even easier to where people could just, and it would look beautiful and it would take time, like, so then people would be like, yeah, I could do it this way, but the truth is doing all this myself is not something I want to do. This takes like hours and hours and hours of time, and I don't want to do it. So those jobs were still there. But not only that, I just treated it like it was going to be over. So I just treated it like, okay, I've clearly put all of my value in this. What can I do to shift that belief? That's when I started working on my mindset. That's when I started reclaiming my internal always on safety and detaching myself from these systems and sources that I thought were my gods, that I thought were the source of my okayness. And I started deciding that I was going to be okay. Deciding that I was going to not just survive, I was going to thrive. Deciding that this was going to be my level up, not my level down. I just decided that. I didn't know if that was going to happen. I didn't know how it could happen. I didn't know anything. I just trusted myself enough to say, this is what I'm deciding is going to happen. I don't know how that's going to play out. I don't have to know how that's going to play out. I'm just going to take whatever steps are in front of me, whatever calls to me, whatever breadcrumbs appear to me, I'm going to follow that, and I'm going to be more than okay. I'm going to thrive. And it was a short time after that I completely reinvented my business. And I shifted into art direction only. And I shifted out of doing web design and production of any kind. And I shifted into just offering my eye instead of offering like all this build and all this stuff. And I shifted into retainers that were like 3 times the price that I had been making before. And I like tripled my income. And that, when I did that, that inspired me to have this whole new awakening that I wanted to share with other people. Like, you can create your life. Holy crap. You can freaking just decide stuff and change your whole life. So that's when I lit up with that. And that's when I came into this work, into teaching and mentoring and creating my own courses and podcasts and all that. And it's just evolved, and it keeps evolving from there. And it will forevermore. And there are things that I am doing now that will be obsolete. And I will be doing something else because I trust that. And I know that no single source is my source of goodness and support and money and being okay, being held, being supported. Like, I have decided that is going to be the case in my life, no matter what. No matter what reality is showing me in the moment. I might be facing some real hardship. I might be facing some real scary stuff. But I just decide that I am supported. I'm going to have everything I need. I'm going to find my way. I'm going to know what I need to know. I'm going to be able to do what I need to do. I'm going to find my way through this. I'm going to be given everything that I need. That's what's going to happen. And I just trust, and then I just listen to life. I watch life for what I need to do next. I know what I need to do next by what lights up. What lights up for me? What looks like, ooh, what feels like a breath of fresh air? What feels good? Follow that. You don't have to know how it connects. Just follow it. It's your life force. Your life force sets you up for life. Follow it. Follow that. Trust it. It knows what it's doing. So if you're feeling fear about that, I understand. Do what you can. Do what you need to do to support yourself and your fears around that. But know that this is a beautiful opportunity for you to take back your value from externals and reinstate and root yourself in a deep intrinsic inner value that cannot be given or taken away. And to re-empower yourself to decide rather than say, I am just a product of the world. I am a product of what's happening in the world. I'm a product of my surroundings. I am that. You are a creator. You make your choice. You have the power to decide. And just if certain decisions feel like, I do not. No, I don't have that power at all. Then choose whatever feels the most accessible to you. Whatever feels the closest and most believable or accessible to you, choose that. Move in that direction, and then that will expand you forward into the next decision and direction, and that will expand you forward into the next, and on and on and on. But, so, I hope that helps. I hope that brings you some peace and, it's obviously everyone is entitled to see all of that AI and everything the way that they want to see it. But my feeling is that I trust life. And this is an inevitable thing that is happening in life, in reality. And so I move with reality. I don't fight. I don't waste my energy fighting reality. I just move with it, and I do what I can with it to turn it into the world I want to live in, my own world. And then the ripple effect of what I create for my own world hopefully is a beneficial one for the world around me. But it's also none of my business what other people decide for themselves. I can only choose for me. And so I choose to go with the waves of reality as they appear, even when it's really painful or hard or presents challenges or opportunities for change. But again, just bringing yourself back to that internal safety, that deep internal safety that I am going to have everything you need. I am supported at all times, in all ways. I am surrounded in support. Put that on something where you can see it and repeat it all the time, and then look for evidence of it. And then remember times in the past when you thought you weren't going to be supported and how you were. You found a way found you, and you're just going to grow that. You're just going to grow that trust and that ability to fly despite what is happening in the world. You're going to just expand that, and it's going to be the most beautiful thing that ever happened to you, even though it might not feel like that at all right now. All right. Much love. Bye. P.S. Something that I'm really excited about AI is that AI is making a lot of things easier. It's automating a lot of things and making a lot of things like that used to take months, years, weeks, days into a fraction of the time. And I know that that's threatening, but what happens then? Because of the story that I told you earlier about how, all these tools come out and they do websites out of the box and it's one click and all these things. What happens is those tools do a lot of the programming. They do a lot of things, but you still need the discerner. You still need the human to take what's been spit out and discern what is useful and what is not. Discern what looks good and what doesn't. Discern what sounds good and what doesn't. Discern if that's for them or not for them. Discern. So this really compares to my experience as an art director, because that is what my job is, versus when I was doing production work myself, when I was doing all of the design and layout and coding myself. And then slowly over time, first I hired coders and I had coders, so I no longer did the coding. Then I had people doing more of the production layout work and stuff like that. And so as the art director, I am the one who does most of the discerning. Yes, I have a vision, so I need a vision. And then I discern what fits within that vision and what does not. And that is what humans are now going to do with AI. They're going to use it as a tool, just one tool in the box of many, many, many tools that are available. And I see lots of artist friends and lots of artists all over the world and photographers and people who used to do analog, hands-on stuff, now using this tool as one of their tools. So AI becomes one of their tools, and that tool is just going to be the production so that you get to be the art director. You get to be the discerner. You get to use your discernment and make the decisions. So instead of doing all the labor, you make the choice. And I'm so excited about that. And I know, and I say that with absolute sensitivity and compassion for the threats that brings and the change that brings to the table, because it asks us to take our identities out of these jobs that have kept us safe and be like, okay, my value is still going to be there despite how this changes. And I know that can be scary and hard because I went through it. So I know how that feels. And I'm really excited. I'm really excited about more people getting to move into the position of being the discerner of things in their lives in the world. And that's not just in the ways of art. It's not just in the ways of writing. It's in lots of different ways that becomes available, because AI is going to be applying to like everything. Just the other day, AI Loom, my screen recording program that I use sometimes with clients and with my course members, started integrating AI so that I don't have to come up with titles for the videos anymore or the summary. It writes it just by listening to me talk. And like, wow, that'll save me like however much time. Where do you think the energy that I used to spend doing that is going to go? Like even just that little amount of time a day, like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, like however much time would have been spent on these little things adds up, and all of that energy gets redirected. And what happens at first is that energy gets redirected inside. That energy comes back inside you. That all that energy that's been going out comes back inside you, and it says, what do I want to do with my life? What kind of life do I really want to have here? Like I haven't ever really felt like I had a choice. I've just been in survival mode, but now, like, I'm asking when some certain energies get freed up, like, there's a little bit more energy to ask, what do I want? There's a little bit more space to ask, what do I want? And you might not know how you're going to do that yet, but that nugget opens up the road in front of you that leads to that exact thing. So I am very excited about the implications, and I choose to see AI not as a threatening, like, RoboCop thing, but as a Wall-E, the the Pixar movie Wall-E, the sweet little tech that's going to help, that helps. Its job is to help, and it's happy to help. And that's just my choice to view it that way. That doesn't mean that's how it is, but that's how I choose to experience it in my world. And that's how I am experiencing it currently. And I welcome anyone else to feel differently about that, and that's okay too. But if that is helpful to you, I thought I would share my weird and wonderful world of Sunny views with you on that one today. All right, end of PS. Bye. Thanks for joining me today. And if you'd like to find out more about me and my work, you can find me at sunnichapman.com.